You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly.
Okay, welcome to the Village of Wappers Falls monthly regular meeting of the Mayor and the Board of Trustees. Today's Wednesday, May 14th. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Please remain standing for Mr. Donald Kane, passed away yesterday after a long illness. Don was a village resident for many years and very well known in the community. The village called upon Don many times for his advice on plumbing issues. Thank you. I have one announcement to make here. Memorial Day services that were traditionally held at Messier Park will now be held at the VFW at 8 School Street. And the reason for that is it's safer. Today you hear about cars running off into crowds and things like that. So we're going to try it this year. It'll be at 11 o'clock on the 26th, Memorial Day. Up there. Right after that, if you want, or if somebody wants to, they're serving food inside the building for those who would like to go there for that. So we're going to see how that goes. If that goes well, we may even move the Memorial Day service because we're competing up on Route 9 with trucks and traffic and everything else, and it's very hard for people to hear. So we'll see how this goes on Memorial Day. Thank you.
Anybody else has any announcements? Special events?
Mayor Huber.
Present.
Trustee McCormick.
Here.
Trustee Cemento.
Here.
Trustee Mosh.
Here.
Trustee Marshall.
Here.
Trustee Vanka.
Here.
Trustee Smith.
Here.
Village Attorney Lindars.
Here.
Action on minutes. Reorganizational Village Board meeting minutes, April 7th.
Get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Regular Village Board meeting minutes, April 9th.
Get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Special Village Board meeting minutes, April 16th.
Get a motion?
Come on.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Opposed?
Village Board budget meeting minutes, April 28th.
You get a motion?
Make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Second monthly Village Board meeting, April 30th.
We get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Authorization to pay bills as per approved warrants.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a
Pay
second?
the bills as the finance committee's got to sign off on it first. So this way, we're doing this ahead of time, so we don't fall behind on the bills. Because once you fall behind, we'll never catch up.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 1825, 2025, employing special counsel for legal services.
This is
The,
for,
the Village of Wappingers Falls Planning Board is in need of legal services in connection with an Article 78 proceeding. And this has to do with Buckingham. The village would like to hire Ian Lindars to be that attorney.
I make the motion.
second?
Well, can I ask a short executive session at the end of this meeting, just to explain some of the details of this litigation to the board? Essentially what this is it's just officially and formally appointing me to enter a notice of appearance and defend the village's interest in this matter.
I just have one question. You said 1825, because my paperwork says 1725. Resolution number, which is it?
1825, I got.
It's 1825.
Okay.
That's the next one you're looking at, the one in the front. Flip the page over.
The first one. Yeah, but now there is a copy that 1725. There is another
On
one.
your agenda,
On the agenda?
she's on the,
On this one here, it says 1725.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I changed it.
No, I just want to make sure, and I changed.
No, that's right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
all right, so we did a motion?
I just have a quick question. Article 78, yeah.
It's a lawsuit. It's a lawsuit. Someone's filed a lawsuit challenging the secret determination in the from the planning board.
Okay.
Which is basically.
All right. Resolution 1725, 2025, authorizing relevy of unpaid 2023,
Oh, hang on, we got,
that should be 20, oh, you did vote.
we didn't vote on the other resolution.
Oh, okay.
We didn't vote.
No, we didn't vote. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, carried.
Thank you.
All right, clerk.
I had Jeff Smith down for that.
Yeah, we-
And Ryan.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
I made the motion.
Yeah, but we never voted.
So now it's Robert Marshall.
No, switch it back if you want.
What?
Leave it the way it was.
We never voted on it, that's the problem.
So now you voted.
Yes.
Okay. Resolution 1725, 2025, whereas the last date for payments to be made to the Village Hall for unpaid water, sewer, sanitation accounts was April 3rd. Now therefore be it resolved, the resuscitation above set forth are incorporated in this resolution as if fully set forth and adopted herein. Lori Java, Treasurer of the Village of Wappingers Falls, is hereby authorized to forward all unpaid water, sewer, sanitation accounts to Dutchess County Department of Real Property Tax on or before May 15th, 2025, to be re-levied upon the 2025 county land tax bills. Those come out in January. This resolution shall take place immediately. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second? All in favor? Opposed?
Roll call vote. Mayor Huber.
Aye.
Trustee Mash.
Aye.
Trustee McCormick. Trustee Vanka.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall. Trustee Chimento. Trustee Smith.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. Poughkeepsie sewer re-levy is $17,894. Poughkeepsie, this is that side of the village, the other side of the bridge. Water, $17,644. Residential garbage, $6,457. This side of the bridge, town of Wappinger sewer is $136,931. Water's $133,507. and residential garbage sanitation is $65,847 for a total of $378,282. We are looking now, if you go to your handout, they're going to be doing some work up at Patriots Park, and our village planning board would like to be the lead agency for that work effort. Can I have a motion for approving them to be the lead agency?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Carried. Okay, mayor to appoint trustee Smith as chairperson to the water board.
Get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
We're jumping over the next one. We're going to approval to move PA Emizaliz Gonzalez from part-time to hourly.
We get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is this the dispenser?
Yes.
It's going to the 39 hours.
Correct.
Okay,
I'll make the
second
motion.
that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Over the years, I've been contacted by different companies that come in and do audits of our utilities or telephone audits, electric audits, computer audits, all kinds of different audits. This particular company, McDermott, would like to come in and audit our landlines. And what they do is whatever they find that we're paying too much on, they bill you half of what they find for a 12-month period. What I'm going to do is see if there are other companies out there that do the same kind of auditing and do some price comparisons to be consistent with our procurement policy. So I could have this on the agenda as early as next month. Any questions on that?
We're the 28th.
Thank you.
We'll have a meeting on the 28th.
Oh, okay. Meeting on the 28th? Okay, I'll shoot for that. William T. Garner announced at their May 5th meeting, they accepted 2 new active members, Eric Diaz and Michael Fassetti. Can I have a motion to accept their correspondence?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
That was seconded by Don?
Yeah.
At the May 6th meeting, this is more correspondence, at the May 6th meeting of the ZBA, they elected a chairman, Alan Furstenberg. He was unanimously elected, and Alan abstained. The vice chair, they nominated Frank Baresi. He was unanimous also, and he abstained.
Can we get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Accept the resignation of Jamie Lynn Boldrin as social media interface among many other activities she did. Effective June 1st, 25.
Get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
By the way, she did an outstanding job on everything she did. Okay. That concludes the printed portion of today's agenda. Mayor, if you wanted to open it up.
Anything from the board? Anybody from the board?
Yeah, I got the police report. Bobby's got the highway report.
Okay.
I think we also wanted to go over that per hire.
We can have an executive session.
Why? Does it have to be executive session? To hire somebody for that 39
What's that
hour
for the
position?
39 hours?
For police assistant?
Well, it has something to do with verbs, so.
I have an,
It was a,
I have an employee who wants that spot.
I thought it
I have a name for
was
you
just
if you want it.
approved by perp. Yeah.
It was
Approved today.
approved, and we're approving him to take the 39 hour slot.
Well, no, that's one 39-hour slot. I'm talking about the second 39-hour
No,
slot.
no. I was under the impression the other one was already taken care of the last meeting.
No, it wasn't. We just voted on,
We just did that one now.
yeah, we
There's
just
another,
So what we're gonna do is just,
I'm gonna put Kenya Jenkins into that.
yes, okay, I'll make the motion to put Kenyon Jacob
Jenkins.
Jenkins in that 39-hour slot.
I'll second that.
Wasn't she in the 39-hour slot before?
Uh,
Oh, full
She was
time.
full-time and then she had a status change, moved to part-time.
That was Robert Marshall and Rose.
Yes.
Yep.
And I got a little bit on the highway. Okay.
Is there a motion?
I made the motion and Bobby seconded, or Bobby made the motion, I seconded, and now it's got to go to a vote.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Okay, the highway guys, they cleaned up, they did a fleet maintenance. They picked up the brush. They checked the sewer and the water repairs. And they started putting those signs up that I guess Kevin ordered. You ordered, Kevin?
Or
The signs, I signed for a couple, for signs that were $435 and it was $125 delivery charge.
might have been the remaining of the winter signs they had.
Yeah, but it kind of flipped me out. I mean, I could have walked there and picked them up for cheaper. But anyway, and also they ended up on Missouri Avenue blacktop and concrete and some handicap spots there on both sides of the road.
Yep.
And then they cleaned up on the dump. And also what they're doing is they're hauling the stuff away that was left by Central Hudson. And that should be finished hopefully by either this Friday or Monday. And then we're gonna get a lock for that thing and we're gonna lock it shut.
Well, they've been locking it because I was down there on Monday night for a drill and we got to
Yeah.
unlock it, so.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's open, sometimes it's not. So
Yeah.
now I'm on them to keep it done. But, yeah, and they're gonna they started with the flags, putting the flags up for the, memorials.
Town of Poughkeepsie's coming in to help.
Yeah, so we ended up, and plus you got Paisley, which calls Boom Truck. So they're pretty down to the bottom of the hill and they'll be coming up this way.
Great.
That's
I
it.
just want to talk about Tri-Muni quick.
Yes.
As you know, I am a member of the Tri-Muni Board. There are three of us. We meet monthly. And the capacity down at the sewer plant off of Sheep Road is at full capacity and has been for months, which is why people have not been able to hook into it. And there are projects out there that are on hold because they can't hook into it. What I suggested from the Village of Wappingers Falls is two things, and I sent a memo to the Legislative Committee this week that we purchase these plastic inserts. They're about the size of a manhole cover. You lift the manhole cover up, you put the plastic in there, kind of like one of those sleds, one of those round sleds, and you put the manhole back on top of it. That prevents infiltration from the street, particularly on those manholes that are below surface. That's one thing. The other thing is, of more importance, I think, is to have our zoning enforcement officer, when he's out doing inspections, to be able to also look to see if there's an illegal, illicit hookup from their sump pump to a sewer pipe. We know that exists, but we haven't been able to find it. By putting more teeth into the inspection process, if he's there to inspect the furnace and he looks over and says, oh, by the way, that's illegal. You can't have that sump pump pumping groundwater into our sewer system. So I've asked the Legislative Committee to consider that. It's not anything unlike other communities have done. As a matter of fact, it was brought to my attention by Max Dale that the town of Wappinger did adopt that in 2010. So that's what I'm pushing to do.
Just have a question pertaining to those plastic. Will that cause the streets to get flooded? Because is nothing allowed?
Well, it's really not a whole lot of runoff that goes down through, there's a little hole in the manhole where you pick it up with. but it's something.
It's.
Yeah, it won't cause any flooding because there are storm drains not far from that spot. But we do have quite a few of the manholes for the sewer below surface.
Well, this is gonna help West Main because there are puddles up there, and puddles right next to them.
Well, right over here where they built that development in the swamp, they're all pumping water. I don't know where they're putting it.
Well, if you go into the junior high lately, it's about 3 feet of water, so technically it's
That's
swimming pool.
We just stopped them again from pumping their water into our sewer.
Yeah, we plugged that.
Well, anyway, that's the update. That's what I'm doing for that, to show our part as a village, what we're doing. Okay, thank you.
I would like to thank Max for going and dig that up, though. He did.
No, I didn't know that existed till he showed it to me.
Well,
Okay, from our officer in charge, Sergeant Ludwig. For the month of April, we had a total of 272 service calls, 7 arrests, 50 traffic tickets, 7 parking tickets, 2 larcenies, 1 drug complaint, 22 motor vehicle accidents, 3 motorist assist, 7 domestic disputes, 5 burglar or hold-up alarms, 19 medical calls, 9 fire calls, 10 other criminal investigations, 6 other disputes or fights. There were no use of force incidents, 7 properties lost or found, and 4 calls to assist another agency. And as a reminder, to receive text alerts about special events and other important announcements, please text 12590 to 888-777. Sergeant Ludwig, do you have anything to add?
No, that's it. That's all I have for the month.
Thank you.
I would like to add something. And that's that this week is National Police Week. And I just want to say thank you to all the men and women who put their life on the line every day for us. I appreciate you.
All right, I also have a estimate.
Wait, Walt, I got something with the police too. The committee met with the PBA and made an offer, and we've come to an agreement on the offer of $4 an hour, starting with the signing of the new contract, $2 an hour for the last 2 years before that, retro pay for all the police officers that stayed with us. The 2 full-timers are going to start paying 5% into healthcare. Any new hires are 15%. And we're both in agreement on what we talked about and came up with, and just waiting for the attorneys to put it on paper the way that I just said it. So,
how long is this contract for?
1 year.
1 year.
1 year, it's just to cover.
1 year, it just gives them the money to be able to get the hires to prove that we can have a police
Technically,
department.
it's 3 years.
It's 3 years,
Three
keep
years.
back,
That's
1
it.
new.
1 year will put
Yeah,
them
there's 1 year remaining than the others.
Right, and
It's usually
now,
a 3-year contract.
and that one, we're giving them the money to be able to,
We're 3 years out, not being uncontracted. So now we're just going 1 year. Next year, we're gonna do another
we're gonna,
contract with you.
no, yeah, oh, another you can do, but first we need to know if we can get the manpower to have a police department. So,
This will give them the tools that they need in order
Solicit.
to get back to work and
While we're on that topic, I just wanted to revisit the 1040 rule for the time being. Still looking to get authorization to allow, with my monitoring, officers to exceed 20 hours, not to exceed 39, until such time that, at least for the next several months, I'd say 3 to 4 months maximum, until I can get the new recruits out of the academy and training, and potentially get more people transferred here or hired.
So, how can we monitor this? Okay, we're gonna monitor you then.
Yeah.
Because if it goes over, we're gonna hold your feet to the fire, because We don't want nobody going to collect unemployment on us because they went over the hours.
Right.
Is there any way that this office could monitor that with you on that when to work?
Yeah, I mean, I could give you, a weekly spreadsheet. I already have the spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
Give you a weekly or a monthly spreadsheet to show you where everybody's hours are at.
Give it to me, I'd like to have, let Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, I thought we used to do that, but I still have it.
Don't you have a monthly police committee?
To my understanding is.
We
that-
do, but, I'd like to see it beforehand. Like, I don't wanna go revisit what we did in October, November. That's what I don't wanna do. That's my biggest fear.
We're already 6 months into the year.
I understand we're 6 months into the year, but you guys can start banging in 40 hours a week and,
Mathematically, it's not gonna happen.
I mean,
Not allow it.
And right now, as of June 1st, mathematically, it's not gonna happen. We just need, Mr. Mayor, excuse me for interrupting, but we just need you to say, Sergeant Ludwig, the 39-hour authorization.
I'm not asking to put everybody at 39 hours a year, because that's not gonna.
I don't think we could do 39 hours because we'd have to go through the county civil service and they have to.
Right, we're not
I
gonna exceed
understand
that, but we have to work up to that. It's exceeding a
Well, it's-
20-hour rule.
Once we turn it over to him, that ball's gonna be in your hand. If there's any problems, we're coming to you.
So to my understanding is that we'd either need to
You know what I mean?
contact Dutchess
No, that's
County
fair.
Civil
That's
Service
how
or
it
the
is.
state civil service and just have you, I would feel more comfortable having y'all sign a waiver saying that you won't exceed the 39 hours.
That's unnecessary. Contractually, we can't do that.
I understand, but if you're asking the state civil service or the county civil service to circumvent that rule or to allow an exception,
We're not.
It's already in effect.
You're not.
It's already in effect, so there's no, we don't need an
That's a
authorization.
special rule by this board, not by,
There is a
1040.
county, we can request what's called temporary.
39-hour slot.
spots.
Right.
And then those guys technically, they would sign the waiver and they would be able to technically go over 1040 for the year without penalty.
you need 3 to 4 months, you said?
Not of those
That's
spots,
not what
though. I'm asking that,
Lift
according to the county civil service, part-time officers are allowed to work 1,040 hours per year, no more.
So how about we just do 24 instead of 30, up to 39?
I mean, that would help, it's better than 20, but, that would give people 3 shifts a week, but I would like to have more control over it and have the ability, if I needed somebody to work 32 one week, and I only had 1 or 2 guys that were willing to do that.
vacations. coming
Listen,
up.
Kevin, I would like to give him that chance in the ball and report to you, weekly or whatever you want. Put the ball in his hand, let him run with it. Who knows?
I mean, I just,
I mean, we
You
could.
know-
I don't like the words of 39 hours because out there in
Well, they
TV
said
land,
they
someone
weren't
can
gonna-
watch this
they
thing
said they
and
weren't gonna
county-
do that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's out there in TV land, somebody that works for the county watch us and we're here talking about 39 hours and we're
It's,
you got to apply for it at the county for a 39-hour slot.
right,
I'm not
that's,
asking, I'm asking.
That's not what he's
to exceed
asking.
20 and stay under that. Stay under 39, but to exceed 20. So if you give me 24 to start out with, that's better than.
It's gonna be the only way to get 2 men on a shift and get tickets up.
well, here's the thing.
Without that, and I completely understand why 1 man on will not pull over a car because he has no backup.
The natures of the calls that we're receiving now, the weather is changing, and I reiterated this 2 weeks ago. And as the vice president of the PBA, I will state that you are seeing violent crimes that are coming back into this township. 2 gun calls, 1 resulted in an arrest. I myself made that arrest. We had another open investigation where a firearm was displayed, basically a street turnaround was pulled on 1 person, pointed a firearm at him. We have an arrest that's coming on that. We had a stabbing that occurred 2 weeks ago. We've had multiple assaults. These things are happening because the weather's changing. You have different crews that are coming into the area now, hanging out in the parking lots, hanging out in the plazas, different car groups, different associations, gang affiliation. It's all happening, and when you have 1 officer on, it just doesn't cut the
It's
mustard.
cyclical.
Yeah,
The
because-
nature of the police work is generally cyclical. When the warmer weather hits, everybody's out. You see an increase in crime. Colder weather comes, people stay inside, domestics go up.
I just,
Can I just say, you have a police committee. I mean, to let them run the department so that people are safe, the officers are safe, the residents are safe. Monitor it. I know Rosemary, you worked for a police department for 3 decades. That wouldn't be anything for you to look at and notice at an eye's length.
Well, the other thing I would say is that for the last several months, we have kept Devin in charge of the whole police department, and he's done a really good job. I don't know why anyone would think he can't count and not go above the 1040. You know, he's been basically running the department for the last 2 or 3 months. I have every confidence in him that he is going to be able to do what we're asking him to do. And I think that it's only fair for us to give him what he's been asking for as well.
So is that a motion?
Well,
You want to put that in the form of a motion?
Before a motion is made, I would only caution this board that I have not seen, and it may have been determined, I don't know, I haven't seen it, but there was conflicting opinions on the 20-10-40 rule.
I got that directly from county civil service in an email and provided it. It's a fact.
It was
The
brought
rule
up
is
2 months
1040.
ago that it was gonna be
So-
looked in the next day and made a decision on.
I'm only reminding the board
I
that,
talked
that-
to our labor attorney, and our labor
Not a
attorney,
labor attorney, that's not what I would have confidence in.
Just county civil
So
service,
just county civil service.
1,040 hours, that is the rule.
That's right.
Fact.
and rule number 6 reads also that a part-timer works half of a full-timer. So full-timer works 40 hours a week, the part-timer works 20.
Logistic, logically, yes, I agree with that, that makes sense. However, that is the logical side of it when you do simple math, but the reality is that they are allowed to go over 20 hours. They just cannot exceed 1040 for the year.
That's the way I remember it when I was there. That's,
39 hours full-time or part-time?
There's
Anybody
technically
working over,
part-time.
I think, don't hold me to it, look at it. Anybody working over 30 hours for a long period of time, as dispatcher McLean would say, we would have to offer them medical insurance
Over 30 hours.
over 30
You
hours.
work it only if you're assigned them.
Only if you're assigned it. So if they assign shifts for over 30 hours for a period of time, the village would have to either give them a buyout, that's one of the options, or give them medical. So,
They have it in the contract.
That's if I.
Yeah, but that's a law, too.
Say, Officer Scagnelli, you're now assigned to work minimum of 32 hours per week. This is what you're doing permanently. That's not if, let's say, a Scagnelli works 24 hours one week and then the next week he works 30. It has to be an assigned slot, like, hey, this is what your schedule is, you're working over 30 hours a week, then he would be entitled to some benefits.
then he'd be entitled to
But
what?
is that going to be consistent? Like you're saying, over 30 hours, he's going to get medical.
No,
No, it wouldn't be consistent, no.
no, only if
That would be my
that's
job to
his
make sure.
position.
No.
If he's hired as a 30-hour employee, that's what you're hired as, then you get it.
Right
Not,
now, he's a part-time
Part-time?
officer.
Yeah.
He's part-time.
Right now, he's classified as a part-timer, yes.
Just need the ability to cover the shifts. That's,
I think I might be comfortable to add the extra 4 hours, but I mean, anything proceeding up to 30 hours is, I'm a little iffy because I'm a village resident. Our insurance rate went up 20%. And like,
the officers that,
we got a small budget and
I get it, the officers that, in all probability, that would be scheduled to work 24, 28, or 32 hours, all have full-time career jobs or they're retired. So the medical is not a question. And the availability of myself as a detective, handling the caseload with Detective McHugh and the sergeant, to make decisions to say, okay, yeah, go ahead and stay for the 4 hours, let's get this wrapped up. Or stay the 2 hours, and God forbid we have a fire or another emergency or whatever, because there's too many times where our limited amount of officers, 7 of us, are saying, oh, I didn't even punch out, can't go over 20. And they're leaving things hanging. And the people in this village, and the people that traverse through here on a daily basis deserve better. And you folks, in turn, do better for us.
You know what happened is this board got stung last year, and everybody knows why, and
Yeah.
that's what happens. And now we're trying to come out of it. I'd say,
24.
But you can't come out of it at the safety of your officers and
no, I understand.
You can't come out of it.
That's like medical calls. They used to be there all the time.
Bottom line is you have an experienced
That's right.
officer here in charge
No,
that has told you that he's going to monitor
That's right.
the hours that everyone is keeping.
I'm aware.
And there's a whole entire board that can oversee that.
Yes.
Well, you just said you could do the 4 hours, you'd be comfortable with 4 hours. Can we start you with 4 hours and
If
see
you
how it
start-
goes?
It's not, I don't think it's
It might not be enough, no, but
And so how long would it take you to see that it's not enough until we revisit it? Would that?
Why can't you just give them what they
He
need?
just said
And
he'd be
then
okay with
let,
4 hours.
he's trying to get what he
He's,
can.
he's trying
But-
I'm a resident and I.
But hang on a second. For the last 3 months, you've been asking to work 24 hours. This month, you're asking to work up to 39 hours, or 30 hours, yeah.
Let's just be clear, the 39 is just the
Availability. So,
But no one's gonna take
I would like
advantage.
the permission to go 20, but obviously not exceed the 40 rule.
I just mean, again,
Well, let's.
we've been talking about 24 hours for the last few months. We wanna work with you guys on your contract, and as trustee Smith said, any new hire will pay 15%. Meanwhile, the village is gonna be stuck paying the other 5% of this stuff, because insurance went up 20%. So, we're like, I would just, Charlie, you've been,
Only full-timers get benefits.
yeah, I understand that, but,
Charlie,
There's
we'll
only
just,
two.
There's only two.
yeah, but if one leaves,
There's only two full-timers.
Well, I'd like to say, there was a time when it was 20 hours a week. And if you remember, when that happened, Bobby, I'm sure you remember, civil service actually came to a village board meeting and addressed the town boys that you can't go over 20, you're gonna be responsible personally for paying.
Correct.
It was a big deal, right? And so what happened was, in order to address that problem, because it wasn't only the village having it, the county went to was it 10, how many hours?
1,040.
They went to the 1040 rule to help municipalities, because you have to, with the police department, you have to go over that 20. And so it's not, whatever the freaking number.
1,040.
1,040 per year. So it says, it's still part-time, but once you get to that point, you can't work anymore. And that was there to help. So we're basically going in reverse. We're going back to a situation that the county gave us a remedy for.
The 1040 is the remedy, is what he's trying to say.
yeah, I just, you know what I wanna do?
Change this.
I wanna make
Measure it
this-
per year rather
When do
than per
you
week.
think this will, if you get more cops, obviously this would be less of a problem?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Limit, if I
The
get
more
more
the-
officers,
Yeah,
you know.
Of course,
the
that's-
problem with.
I say we take it to a vote, because
I mean, we
I'm
could,
for releasing it to him, to, Devin.
I am
I make a motion that we release the 20-hour ruling for, give him what? How, would you want to give him, how many months to trial?
90 days.
Do 90 days. I'll make the motion to turn the 20 hours over to Devin for 90 days, and he gives you the weekly report, and we'll be happy with it. And if anything happens, we'll be looking for you, Devin. But that's the motion I want to make.
Is that okay?
Yeah, Ryan already seconded it.
Okay.
As legal counsel, I have to state now again, this is now the second resolution that's on this agenda that has not been noticed, It's not on the agenda. There's two motions now that are not on the agenda, so I need to caution the board again,
Oh,
So they can work any hours.
no, he's going to control the.
it doesn't make it legal. It doesn't make it legal, though. It would put you in violation of the open meetings law.
Okay.
Can we move this, can we move this to a resolution?
we need a resolution. So we'll have a meeting on the 28th.
Absolutely, 100%.
Can we move this to a resolution on the
100% you
28th?
could. Absolutely, you
Let's move
could.
it to a resolution to be done on the 28th.
If I may, I don't know, I don't believe you need a resolution, because this is an order from the mayor,
We're going under our
and the
attorney,
mayor can rescind that.
we're going under our attorney's advice. If our attorney gets us in trouble, then we're in trouble.
Yeah, but here's,
The information's already available to council. It's already there, in writing from the commission.
We're only gonna go 2 more weeks.
It's
hey,
not been available. I'm not labor counsel on it, so I'm advising.
we
the board of the
want the
Constitution.
20-hour in with no resolution. We can take it out with no resolution. So I don't understand this. Every time we turn around, we're doing resolution. What happened to making a motion and accepting it? That's the way.
Resolution just to cover you.
Yeah, but what's gonna cover it? If the guy's not gonna hurt us, let's have some trust in him. If we don't have faith in
We're not
him,
saying he's gonna hurt us. It's
well then, let's cut the bull.
it's a paper trail at the end of the day.
You could do it by a motion, whatever you want. You can't, but it's not been noticed to the public.
listen to
If
me.
this were any other issue that was on an agenda or not on an agenda and came up in a meeting, people were voting on it.
But there wasn't a resolution that was established by the mayor back in December of last year.
So,
So he made the motion, excuse me, I'm sorry, but he made the motion as an order, not even a motion. The order was given by the mayor that no officer will exceed the 20 hours. End of story, because of the information that came down.
There'll be a resolution on the 28th.
All right, I have one more thing I just want to finish off. After looking at the generator at the police station that has been dead for I don't know how long, I cannot find any record of it. I have the opportunity to use Peak Power Systems, who is going to service the generator at the water treatment plant, to come and do an inspection of that generator that's at the police station to determine if it is repairable or needs to be replaced. However, I have an estimate cost of $775 to do that. Does anybody want to agree with me to have that done, or do you want to skip that and just go and get estimates for a new generator?
no, I want to make a motion to, the guy that takes care of the water department will take care of the police department.
Okay, that's fine, but in order for me to move forward, I need everybody to say that it's all right for me to tell them that we'll spend $775 to have them look at it.
I make the motion to do it. Do I have a second?
We don't need, it's
It's gotta get looked at, so.
it's maintenance.
Well, listen, everybody, I'm saying yes. Don? Yeah. Smitty?
Yeah, look at it.
Walt?
Yeah, let
Ryan?
them have a look at it.
Rose?
Fine,
There you go.
okay, fine.
Same concern on this motion.
All right, this way here,
Yeah, we need that, Jeff.
but this way here, we know for sure what the situation is, because I cannot get a clear answer of what's going on up there. I don't know whether there's a rod out through the side of the block, or if there's something else wrong with it. They're gonna check it over. All right,
Anybody else?
Yeah, can we go back to the, so if you're working 20 hours and there's an emergency and you gotta go check out, you gotta go clock out at 20 hours, that you can't
Just
do,
saying.
you can't stay,
They're just saying that because it's been done in the past.
you can't stay 3 or 4 hours on an emergency situation?
Yeah, we have,
Okay.
we stay.
No, Officer Reynolds stayed and he still hasn't been paid for
Here's the,
it. The treasurer won't pay him.
It's the first time hearing about it.
First time I'm hearing about it too.
When you made the order to go to 20 hours and nothing over, that was not in a meeting. I believe that was an email.
That was an email
So
because
why
it's Dutchess
can't
County
you,
law.
let me finish. Why can't you just send out another email? You sent out
I
an
will, I'll
email.
send out another email on the 29th then.
Why do they have to continue to work for the next 2 weeks by themselves? Why can't you send that email out tomorrow? You sent the email out to make it official. Why can't you send the email out to make it unofficial?
here's what,
Because I sent that email out to make it official, because men were over their hours, and we had a few more months after
But that's
left.
over.
Hang on, I'm still
But that's
talking.
over.
Yeah, but I know it's over. So that's why I sent the email out.
That's fine. But what, my point to you is, now you're saying that you have to do 2 weeks to make a resolution. Why can't it be an email to undo the 20 hours, just like it was an email to do the 20 hours?
I don't want to do
And again, and
resolution.
for the last 3 months, we've been talking about working 24 hours. Now we're talking this month to work up to 39 hours. Why is that?
That's not what he said.
But that's what he said. They've been talking for the last 3 months about working 24 hours. Now it's a possibility up to 30.
That's not what he said. He said not to exceed.
Exceed 39 hours.
Right.
Either way, they're
He's
working over
keeping
the
it on.
24. They were going after 24, and now they're going after for more.
It's just a safety
We
net.
lost another full-timer and another officer's out with injury.
Here's what I would like to say to the board since I talk. This came about with no resolution. It's gonna go out with no resolution. Because every time I turn around, these resolutions are haunting me. I'm going to bed at night, resolutions are coming up, and I'm getting scared.
You
It doesn't have to
can
be.
do it by a motion. You can do it by motion. My only caution to this board is we are discussing a number of issues that are not on the agenda.
But let me
So
just
you're
say,
conducting
we're doing
business,
this-
and Jen, you know this. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know.
Make the motion. They can work 40 hours a week.
Is that correct or not correct?
Well,
Make the motion.
I'll
Is it
make
correct
the
or not?
motion that we lift to 20 hours, and it's, that he's got
90
24 hours a
days.
week.
He's got 90 days to make sure that he proves to you that he can extend his thing.
It only has 4 hours.
Yeah.
24 hours. They can work up to 24 hours.
What? Why don't we just?
Then you don't need a motion for that, you could just give me authorization to say up to 24 hours.
Why don't we just lift the whole?
I don't wanna hijack these meetings with this,
But it
I
seems
just want
like
the help.
we're just doing everything with
You
motion.
got 2 guys out, right?
Yes.
I just want the help.
It's
I
emergency
don't wanna hijack,
situation.
I don't want people getting pissed off and angry, everybody's getting pissed off and angry, excuse my language. It doesn't need to be that difficult. I just
No,
want
it's
the
easy.
help, so if you can say
Why can't we
yes.
give it to him on an emergency
Like your guys
situation?
work 3 trips a week, that is better than what we have now.
He's got 2 officers down, so if we give him the extra 4 hours, it's an emergency situation, the way I see it.
We just lost.
And you're giving him 90 days.
90 days.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
then we can revisit it.
There'll be a resolution on the 28th. But yeah, you can work 24 hours.
Thank you.
Yes.
And what about the other person? Now, there's somebody that's gotta get paid too. Somebody went over, they still haven't gotten paid.
But this person has
I have to look at the
the
state.
hearsay right now, hasn't come in and told anybody.
I have to look at the schedule and see what day that was.
So do you
Going on
want,
hearsay.
can you live with the 24 and, or should we do a motion to
Yes.
make sure everybody,
Yes.
so you gotta
We'll
understand.
revisit it on the 28th and we can all hopefully,
lift
Let's see how the
everything.
24 does for you over the next couple of
and
weeks.
then we'll not get angry.
And then we'll see if we can't
And I
up
can
that.
sleep at night without seeing the 24.
I don't want anybody having a stroke or.
All right, anything else? How many police officers?
No, let me answer that question. We have 12.
Two are full-time.
2 are full-time, 10 part-timers, and then one of our part-timers is injured right now, so 9, 10, 11, realistically. And then we have Kevin Ruggiero. Kevin's out as well.
Oh, Kevin came back?
No, he's still out.
There is usually my best effort to get 2 on at a time, like we're supposed to be, but quite often there's only 1.
If I make one suggestion, and this may have happened, I don't know it, but if these issues are coming up like this should be presented before the meeting so it can get on an agenda. So and now it's noticed to the public, so they understand the public is on notice of these issues that are happening and for this board to make motions on them. So if these issues are coming up and you had an officer down or something like that, that type of information, if that can be presented to the board so we can get onto agendas, then you can actually make actions on it.
We've been discussing. We
I've
have
been
to
bringing up for 6 months since
quite a
December.
while.
I'm saying it could be. I don't know what his officer down situation was. So.
Ian, please, let us take care of business.
All right, is there anything else from the public?
Charlie, did you want to talk about yesterday's meeting at all?
Oh, we get to that point?
Yeah.
Well, I just have one more question if you want to do about the actual agenda. So my question is, you authorized to pay bills as per warrant. Is there actually a warrant yet?
There's a warrant, but the thing is, there's still a couple bills that will come in this week. But I don't wanna have to wait until
But there's an existing warrant that
Yes.
you've approved.
upstairs, yes.
I'm sorry, Charlie.
There is a warrant, I wouldn't say that unless there was a warrant, but the thing is, I don't wanna fall behind.
But that's the warrant that's approved. You're talking about bills coming in after. If they go on that warrant, they're not
No,
approved.
that's not approved. Those bills that come in after are done after tonight. The bills come in after that, they're on next.
Just before Charlie, can we look into getting a porta potty in Vetsfield, please, or unlock the bathrooms?
We were.
3 complaints over the weekend of public urination.
There should be one coming soon.
All right, he was gonna address it, but that's from one of the residents on Tribuco.
We were gonna do that.
All
I
right,
think
thank you.
So we had a meeting last night, a really good meeting. Trustee Tremento set it up, and it was the Parks Commission, the Recreation, Lakes were there, and also Supervisor Cavaccini and his Recreation Director from the town. And we talked about use of the boathouse and how we might get it open. And so there's an issue with the air conditioner, that it's going to need some maintenance work at best and probably some replacement parts. And we also talked about getting foam insulation in the eaves, so it's not open anymore. So that could help with the problem of cold air.
Cold air escaping, yeah.
So that becomes a financial problem to pay for those things. and we have money in the restricted recreation fund. In my opinion, that would be a legitimate use of it because you're paying for actual physical things. And so tonight, we don't have estimates, and we'd like to move along on it, but we wanted to see if we can get money, if that would be a use that the board would support for the restricted recreation.
If you have restricted fees, I'm pretty sure you can use them
I'd have no problem with that.
to fix your building. I mean,
Would we get 3 quotes?
Yeah, somebody gave me 2 phone numbers, which I'll get to you guys to get the quotes. And then, yeah, I'm okay with it.
I got no
That's what the
problem.
money's there.
Yeah, I talked to our building inspector yesterday. Trustee Schmental got a hold of me last night. So the way he said that is, because the previous inspector said we couldn't use the AC or the heat in there. So what he's saying, as long as you have a CO for a 3-season room, you can use the AC in there, in that building. I would feel comfortable I think we should charge a little more if the AC is on.
Yeah, we discussed that. Actually, we said $100.
somebody's gonna have to start making sure that they don't bring the air down to 60 at night.
I asked if there could be a regulation that we're not going to below a certain number, like, we're not gonna turn into like Spring Street was at 60 degrees.
But they have those little boxes you can put on top of it.
Yeah, it's gonna like one of
We
those
just
lock
control
boxes.
it, yeah.
Actually, we could put a Wi-Fi thermostat in down there and somebody could have control of it. However, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Who was the contractor that installed the air conditioning in the building?
I have no idea.
I was down there with the electrician, I was looking around, I found no schematics, no labels, no wiring diagram. You have brand new, unused, it's sitting there. It has to be activated.
What do you guys private?
One meeting.
I don't know what's in there at this time.
That big thing in the back of the
The
building.
thing in the back of the building was brand new with a cover on it. When I went there with the electrician, I uncovered it. We found that the power goes to it. There was no communication wire from the thermostat to the air handler to the outdoor unit. That's why I wanted to know who the contractor was that installed that equipment so that I could at least find some schematics or something telling me what's there. I don't even know if the thermostat that's mounted on the wall is compatible with the equipment that's there.
Okay.
Hey, Walt.
I don't know how we'd find, that was 10 years ago, I guess, right?
John Carge had it, a guy named Mark. He's around from the village. He does work in the village here. He was gonna give us an estimate on what it would cost to get it up and running.
The service valves have never even been opened on that outside.
Yeah, well, we need somebody to go down here. So John, I'd like to give John permission, this guy, to go down and give us an estimate. I mean, he was there and then he got shied away.
Does he do air conditioners?
That's what he does. I had him down there. We didn't have a ladder. You need a ladder to go up there to where the air conditioner is. So I said, come back tomorrow with a ladder. In the meantime, I spoke with the mayor. The mayor said, no, tell him not to come back. And that's what I told him.
So now tell him to come back, please.
I'll make that attempt tomorrow,
Yeah.
see what he
I
says.
mean, that's why I told him no, because, you know, again, I was told in the past that you cannot have any AC on in that building, so that's why we did
So
that.
if we're able to move forward with this stuff and
We're
get
able
it
to move
done,
forward now, so.
it could become somewhat of a moneymaker. We're coming up with
Oh,
some
definitely.
ideas for
Yeah,
rental and stuff.
definitely.
I'll call him.
I talked to the building
tomorrow
inspector and he
Yes.
said, absolutely, you can do it.
Set up a time that.
I got his blessing and we're rocking and rolling.
Good. Are you to the public part of the meeting yet, or should I sit down?
Now we're in the public part.
So I have a couple of things I just wanted to ask. At the beginning of the meeting, on my agenda, there's 2 resolutions, but it sounded like you passed 3 resolutions?
Two.
It was only the 2?
17 and 18.
Okay. The other thing was, there was a time when the village board, John, you used to do this, would report the response time for ambulances in the village. And the response times were great. They were like, I remember, like 2 minutes or no longer than 6 minutes. It was really low. But that hasn't been done. And there's some concerns. I have concerns with the response times when I'm hearing around the county how people are waiting a long time for ambulances. So would it be possible to get that report for maybe a couple of months to see what our response times are for ambulances?
We can look into that, yeah.
Get a monthly report.
Yeah, when it was the 2 minutes, it was an easy report to give, but if it's, you know, we're talking 20 minutes or something like that, and something maybe the residents want to know and support it.
I believe that
Throw 'em in the car.
any of those reports should be available. Empress is a huge outfit.
I believe you're entitled.
I think all we have to do is request it.
I believe you're entitled to those reports under your contract.
You are.
I know they have,
We can get-
I know they have a state,
Be interesting to know, important to know.
they have a 9-minute response time by the state, I do know that. They answer that alarm.
Well, if it's 9 or 10 minutes, show them the car and drive.
Anybody else? Make a motion to go into executive session? All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 7:58.